I'm a week away from leaving for my cross-country trip from Newport, Oregon to Kenmore Square in Boston, Massachusetts. I'll be riding my Moto Guzzi V7 Sport, and today I'm out riding 250 miles to test a few things, including oil consumption and fuel range. I want to see if I can make it 250 miles on one tank of gas. I'm pretty sure I can, but I'm trying to build up some confidence in that. So that's what we're doing today. We're also in the middle of a 600-mile oil consumption test mandated by the dealer. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. I want to tell you about some special stuff I'm bringing along on the trip, including my new set of bags, a little gadget that I bought that is kind of life-changing, at least to me. And I want to tell you about the fantastic, epic adventure I went on yesterday with a couple of friends. So stick around, I got a lot to cover. So the plan today is 250 miles almost exactly. I left Portland, Oregon. I'm heading now on Route 14 in Washington along the Columbia River over to a place called The Dalles. From there I'll be heading south across the Columbia River and on to Maupin, Oregon. From Maupin, I'll take some really cool back roads over to the government camp area near Mount Hood, and then I'll follow Route 26 from there all the way back to Portland. The reason I'm doing 250 miles today is twofold. The first reason is, before I left, I went and got myself a full tank of gas and reset my trip meter, and I'm expecting to ride the full 250 miles without having to fill up. The bike should be able to do that. It's got a 5.5 gallon fuel tank, I believe. So we should be able to do it fairly comfortably. It depends on the sort of terrain that I end up riding over and all that stuff, but I kind of just wanted to test and have that peace of mind to know that this bike can actually do 250 miles on one tank. The second reason I'm doing this trip today is because I'm smack dab in the middle of a 600-mile oil consumption test that my dealer is doing for me. As you may or may not know, I've been having some oil consumption problems with this bike. It seems to be consuming a lot more oil than I feel comfortable with. So they've already done one test and they found that it was losing about 0.2 liters for every 600 miles I ride. They say that's within spec. I say, I don't know, I'm not comfortable with that. Well, for a while it seemed to have actually gotten worse. So long story short, I took the bike to a different mechanic and had the 6,000 mile service done, which is oil filter, valve clearances, and whatever else they do on a 6,000 mile. One thing they found when they did that was that my valves were wildly out of spec. They were way too loose. Now, I don't think that that has anything to do with fuel consumption, but I've said to myself, well, if they're wildly out of spec, who knows? We'll see. Honestly, I've ridden, well, yesterday I did 300 miles. Today I'm doing 300 miles, but yesterday, when I got home, I didn't really notice any oil consumption, whereas normally I would have. So I don't know if my problem is solved, if it's just some sort of illusion. I don't know. I will find out more after this ride, and then even more on Tuesday when I take the bike back to the dealership to have them drain the oil, measure it, and see how much oil I've consumed over 600 miles. That's where we're at. Hopefully, the issue is solved. Throughout all of this, I've lost my partnership with Moto Guzzi. Whatever that partnership was going to be is no longer. I'm going to talk about all of that in a future episode from the road when I talk about all kinds of different things about partnerships, integrity, trust, all that kind of thing. But for now, just know this trip is not going to be sponsored in any way by Moto Guzzi. I'm free to say exactly what I want about the motorcycle and my experiences with it and all that stuff. And I think that's for the best. I gotta be honest, I'm thrilled with this bike. I love it. The oil consumption was really the only issue I was having. The other issue I was having was when I switched my heated grips on, it would revert my rider modes to Italian instead of English. So if I used my heated grips and then went to change my riding mode, instead of road it would be Strada, and instead of rain it would be Piaggio or something. They ran a software update and that seems to be fixed, so I'm thrilled. It wasn't a big deal, but it was irritating. It really was. Anyway, so I got that going for me. I am 1 week almost exactly until the time I strap my bags onto this bike and head for the East Coast. I'll be leaving Newport, Oregon, which is on the Oregon coast, and that's the very, very start of Route 20. And I'll be ending that first leg of the journey at the very end of Route 20, which is in Kenmore Square near Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. It's similar to the trip I did last year, only last year I went a little bit north. I took Route 2 most of the way through the northern plains and stuff like that. This time I'm taking Route 20, which is basically right through the center of the country, and it is the longest road in the country, Route 20. It only breaks at one little point, and that's through Yellowstone, where it sort of continues, but it's not an official Route 20 designation. But I start at one side of Yellowstone, I end at the other end of Yellowstone, and I'm on Route 20 at the end and at the beginning. You know what I'm talking about. It goes through, but not really. Anyway, Route 20 the whole way. When I strap my bags to the bike next weekend, the bags I'm strapping are from a company called Longride. They're Belgian, yeah? And they were kind enough to provide me a whole set of travel bags for this trip. I'm going to stop in a minute and I'm going to walk you through what I'll be taking, except for the duffel, which I didn't bring today. It's really strikingly beautiful stuff, and I'm really super looking forward to not only traveling with these bags, but having a partnership with this company, because I've had a lot of different partnerships over the years, big ones, little ones, whatever, but Longride has been so good to me. They've been just the nicest people to deal with, and I can tell that they actually really care, not only about like me and my well-being on this trip, but also about the stuff that they make. It's really refreshing. It's a nice partnership, and I wouldn't even remotely think about entering into a partnership like this if it weren't for the fact that they make really quality stuff. And by partnership, I mean they provided me the bags. That's really the end of the obligation. I go off and do my thing. I could talk about them. I don't even think I have like an affiliate code or anything. Basically, they gave me the bags. I go for a ride. They're going to be in my videos, and I may talk about them a little bit as part of the trip. Not like, not anything major. But it's, long story short, it's just a really cool deal all around. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. That's the kind of partnership you want. Anyway, I'll stop up ahead a little bit, and I'll just give you a quick walkthrough of the bag so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. Okay, so these are the bags, the side bags. These are the Roadmaster SKs. They're waxed cotton and vegetable tan leather, and they're lovely. And they attach via these racks that Longride sells, and these racks are available for a whole range of different bikes, anything from like BMWs to Kawasaki's, Triumph, obviously Moto Guzzi. So they're really nice, and they're very discreet. So when the bags aren't on them, they're barely noticeable. It's really, really nice stuff. The tank bag I have here that attaches magnetically is called the tank pod, and that's really fantastic. It's really low profile and discreet, which is what I like. I can't stand having something that comes up too high and hits your belly every time you get on the bike, or at least it hits mine, because, well, look at me. Now, speaking of looking at me, we got to talk about this jacket, but I'll get to that. The one thing you don't see here is the duffel that's going to sit right here, and that's called the Small Traveler. That's at home. I just didn't bring it today. But that pretty much completes the set. I'll show you a picture of what the whole setup looks like. And it looks great. It's functionally fantastic. It could be a little bit bigger, but that's my fault. They do make bigger sizes. I chose this size. And then the stuff came and I said, oh boy, I hope I made the right decision. But I know I made the right decision because this means I can't take too much stuff, which was my goal in the first place. And in working with Longride, that's what we came to, was the idea that this setup would be perfect if I didn't want to take too much stuff. And so that's where we're at. We're going to make it work, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Again, thank you, Longride, out of Belgium. Fantastic company to work with. And their prices are right. The quality is there. And the mounting system's fantastic, and even locks on the racks. It's good stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Now, can I tell you the story about this jacket? Because it's really cool. I'll make this quick. I was searching Facebook Marketplace like I do for no reason, and I saw this jacket. It's made by Aerostitch. This one's called the Darien, but I believe now it's called the Falstaff, because the Darien stuff isn't made out of wax cotton anymore. It's made out of whatever they make it out of. Anyway, this jacket, I absolutely love it. I bought it from a gentleman. I believe he was in his late 70s, early 80s. And he was going through some rough times with his health. And he sold this jacket because it no longer fit him. It was too big. He lost a bunch of weight. Anyway, he told me that in August is his last chemo treatment. And then he's hoping to get back on his bike and do some touring. And so I told him, listen, I love this jacket. I'm taking it across America and back, and I'll send you pictures, and, it'll be fun. And then when you get back on your bike, hopefully in August, and you get back to fighting weight, and you want this jacket back, I will personally deliver it to you, no questions asked. I want you to have it back if you want it. And so that would be my little dream, is take this jacket across America, have an experience with it, and then deliver it back to this gentleman that sold it to me, because he was an absolute sweetheart. We talked for like 45 minutes in the parking lot. I almost forgot that I was there to buy a jacket. It was just, it's like one of those times you meet someone and you're like, I just love this guy, man. So that's where we're at. This jacket right now is my everything. And it came with the silk scarf that's Aerostitch branded. And it's just fantastic. You got to see, let me see if I can show you the lining of this. Hopefully this will come out on camera, but it's like, can you see it? Isn't that cool? I hope you can see it. If not, I'll take a picture of it. I've been looking for a jacket like this. I've been looking at like Merlin wax canvas jackets. I've been looking at whatever, Belstaff. I don't know what the hell companies, not Belstaff, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Anyway, this is the exact jacket I wanted. I didn't even know it existed. And now I'm wearing it. It fits perfectly. It's just, it's comfortable. It may look dirty, but it's just the patina from the wax. I just need to probably take a hairdryer and even out the wax, or maybe re-wax it. I don't know. But anyway, this jacket is my everything. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to take it potentially 10,000 miles across America and back. That's the story with the jacket. That's the story with the bags. Let's get back on the road, because I've only done like 20 miles so far out of the 250 I need to do today. And we'll talk more later. Remember how I told you I found a life-changing little gadget on Amazon that I bought for the trip? Well, it's this thing right here. It's called the Cycle Plus. I don't know. It's a tire inflator. But look at the size of it. It's like less than half the size of the tire inflator I already have, which is your basic battery-powered tire inflator. It weighs half as much. This weighs half a pound. The one I have at home weighs a pound. It charges like in an hour or something like that, and it inflates the tires up just perfectly. I'm so impressed with this little thing. It was $100, so it's a little pricey because the rest of them, the bigger ones, are like $60, right? But this saves me so much room and so much weight in my pack that it's completely worth it. I don't know. I just think that's the coolest thing. I'm not sponsored or anything. I don't care if you buy it. You shouldn't. Don't take my word for anything else. But look at this thing. It's so tiny and small, and tiny and small. Yeah. Yeah. I can leave a link in the description if you really want me to. I don't make any money off of it, but I just like to pass on cool little things that I find, and this is a cool little thing that I found. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to tell you about was yesterday I got on the old Moto Guzzi here, met up with my friend Brian to go meet another friend named Brian up in Washington. And we saw, now try to contain your excitement here, but we saw the largest egg in the world, a big giant egg. In reality, it wasn't much bigger than like a Prius, like a Toyota Yaris. But it was an egg, and it was awesome, and I haven't had a laugh like that in a long time, so I wanted to show you a picture of the world's largest egg. It's up in Winlock, Washington, which is south of, I don't know, Seattle. It's near Tacoma, I guess. I don't know, Washington. It's a place. But anyway, that was that. Let's check our gas status and see how we are doing on this trip. I've gone about, I would say, 125 miles or so. Let's see how we're doing. So we're very close to Maupin, Oregon, one of my favorite little places in the world. Might stop down there, have a bite, and then we're going to hop on this road here, I think, and head to Government Camp, and then back to home. So right now, if I look at the old gauge here, we are at 127 miles for this trip, and I've got 4 bars of 5G left. That's pretty damn good. So that means I have over a half a tank, and this is pretty accurate too. I have over a half a tank. I've already gone 127 miles, so I should be able to make 250 miles pretty damn easily. It's 84 degrees out. It is not 9:58 in the morning. I just haven't reset the clock since my last service, but let's head into Maupin, and then I think we're going to head back, but I'm not 100% sure of the route.
The amount of bugs that have hit me today have been pretty remarkable, and it is one argument for a windscreen. However, I'm going to take the hits, because in 128 miles now that I've ridden today, absolutely confirmed that I really don't want a windscreen on this bike. I did 300 miles yesterday without an issue, and I've done 128 miles today, and it's just been nothing but clean, beautiful air and a whole face full of bugs, but I can live with that. Anyway, popping into Maupin. I didn't even mean to say that, but I'm popping into Maupin. I'm gonna grab a bite, and then we're gonna start making our way back home. Everything's looking great so far. I haven't checked the oil, but I will show you a before and after picture of the oil when I get home. I'll check it when I get home. There's nothing I can do about it here. Well, I could fill it, but like I said, last time I checked, it didn't need any filling, so I think we're good for now. Welcome to downtown Maupin. This is a cool little area to pop into, and there's a guy on a motorcycle. How you doing? And there's a little general store right here, which hopefully I can find some parking. And I'm gonna go in and grab myself a sandwich or something. Yeah, Maupin Market. Here we go. Oh, and some shade too. What a country. Oh, and a bunch of motorcycles at the Rainbow Tavern. That looks like my kind of crowd. I go over there and start a bar fight. Probably not. Anyway, I'm gonna grab a sandwich. Someone just walked by and said, "That bike is sick." And I was like, "How did you know?" Anyway, I'm gonna get back on the road. That's pretty much all I got from here. When I get too close to home, I'm gonna stop and we're gonna talk about fuel and see how we're doing. I should be just about at 250 by then. And then we'll go home and we'll check the oil consumption, so I'll catch you there.
Okay, I'm almost home. I did 230 miles today so far. I've got another 10 or so to go, but whatever. 230 miles. The low fuel light came on at about 225 miles, so about 5 or 6 miles ago. And then it starts, after a bit, it starts counting up from zero, and I should get about 50 miles on the reserve. So when we total it up, we're looking at what, 230 plus potentially 50. So 280 miles on one tank of gas. Now, this was some, hill climby road, twisty, hill climby, windy. I had a headwind at points. So 280 miles on a motorcycle this small, that's pretty damn good. I'm super impressed by that. It's just another reason why I just absolutely adore this bike. Anyway, I'm gonna head home and then we're gonna put it in the garage. I'm gonna let it sit for 10 minutes like the manual says, and then we're gonna do a comparison on the oil from when I left this morning until I get home and see if I've consumed any oil. Now, like I said, the only thing that I've had done is the 6,000 mile tune-up, valves and stuff. And then the other day when I took it in for basically them to drain the oil that I just paid for, so that they can then in turn measure it again after 600 miles, blah, blah, blah. They also hooked it up to the computer, right, to fix my display issue where it was, turning to Italian every time I used my heated grips. I do remember, now that I think about it, what happened was I said to the dealer, I said, mostly joking, I'm like, why the hell is this taking so long? It was taking 2 hours, right? And I remember him saying something that didn't hit me then, but hits me now. He said, well, we had to fix the Italian-English issue. We turned off your service light and installed a new map. And I don't know if he meant that he installed a new map, meaning a fuel map, or if that's just he meant that I don't know what he may have meant. But I'm wondering if maybe they installed some sort of fuel map or some other software that I wasn't aware of. That's why it took so long. And maybe if I go home and find out that there's no oil consumption, that maybe it had something to do with a software update, a map update or something. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible that a fuel map would have any effect on oil consumption. But again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a Moto Guzzi tech. So what do I know? All I can say is a few things. I'm leaving in a week to hit the road, potentially 10,000 miles over a month on this bike, and I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't possibly love a motorcycle more than I love this motorcycle right now. It has, let's take a look, 7,981 miles on it. By the time I'm done with this trip, it's going to potentially have 18,000 miles on it. The most I've ever put on a motorcycle is somewhere just north of 10,000 miles. And then, you know me, I traded them away or whatever. My Scrambler 900 had about 10,000 miles on it when I traded it. The Moto Guzzi V7 TT had 10,000 miles on it when I traded it. My Tiger 900 Rally Pro only had about, I think it was 7,500 miles on it. The Trident had about 6,000 miles on it. So this is going to break records in a big way. And I couldn't be happier to be doing it on this bike because, well, I love it. If it's no longer consuming oil, I may just marry the damn thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I'll catch you back at the garage. Oh, I should mention, my average fuel was 54 miles per gallon, US miles per gallon, or US gallons. You know what I'm talking about, 54 miles per gallon. That's pretty damn good. All right, so you're seeing it. You tell me, compared to what, hold on, let me get it completely upright. Yeah, it did. It consumed a little bit. But maybe it's just leveling off. I don't know. I'll have to compare it to the original image. I'll show them back to back, and we'll see. But It's not severe anymore, anyway. I'll be tipped.
Did I tell you about the world's largest egg? I did, right? Man, what a life-changing experience that was. If you're interested in seeing photos of my dumb adventures to things like world's largest eggs, you should jump over and follow me on the Instagram. The handle of my Instagram thingy is down here. Pop over, say hi, give me a follow over there. It's always a good time. Is it though? I don't know.